The following is a presentation of RMG Sports, award-winning championship television.
Terry Rinker is having a dream-like season with 5 straight victories in the ChampBoat Grand Prix Series and hasn't lost in 2006. Now, with 2 races to go, can he keep his record-breaking streak alive as he tries to make this the perfect season?
The Amsoil Rinker team is on top of the world. We're going to stay there for the rest of the year.
4-time series champion Tim Siebold has struggled to find the formula for winning success this season, despite having 4 podium finishes and 5 race starts. Is this the weekend he changes his luck and wins for the 20th time in his coveted career?
I like new events coming to Hartford, and the Bud Light team is ready to go.
Sean Torrente showed once again he has the speed for victory, leading at the Chicagoland Grand Prix until his engine once again betrayed him in the race. Can he shake the bad karma and win for the first time this season this afternoon?
Abso-friggin-lutely. The 6th time is definitely the charm.
The most talented drivers in all of North America that take to the water have come for the first time to the Connecticut River in downtown Hartford to do battle at this lovely fall setting. For some teams, they hope their driver will be once again cooking come race time. While for others, they hope their driver won't be too much of a hot dog before it's over. But whatever the recipe calls for, the 6th round of the 2006 ChampBoat Grand Prix Series and the first ever Grand Prix of Hartford comes heating up an appetite for excitement next. From the edge of the Connecticut River here in historic downtown Hartford, Connecticut. It's round number 6 of the 2006 ChampBoat Grand Prix Series, the first ever Grand Prix of Hartford. Hi everybody, I'm Steve Michael along with my partner Bill Siebold. Glad to have you with us this afternoon. And 3 drivers have got a great chance to win this afternoon. Let's talk about him first of all. Terry Rinker, he's on the pole. He didn't win any heat races yesterday. He struggled, but he's in the right position to take a victory this afternoon.
No, Terry's got the speed. He set fastest time, and then in the first heat, Sean came up from the 5th starting position and beat him. And in the second heat, Tim Siebold started in 4th position and beat him. So, you know, it's going to be a good race today. Yeah, you mentioned Sean Torrente, the driver out of Miami. He's up for Rookie of the Year. He's been fast. He's led half these races, but he hasn't got to the finish. Sean's had mechanical problems. You know, he's tried hard this year. It's the rookie year for him in the ChampBoat Series. And sometimes when you try harder, you do worse. You know, Murphy's Law kicks in. It takes a little luck to win these things, too. Yeah, and how about your son, Tim Siebold, going for his 20th career victory? He's got to have a perfect last 2 races this season to have a shot at the championship. Yes, he does. He's second in points, you know, and he won a heat race yesterday, and that gave him a lot of confidence going into today. All right, 3 different drivers from 2 different states battling for the win this afternoon. We'll have to see if they can pull it off. We'll come back and start things off from Hartford when we return right after this. Time out. The ChampBoat Grand Prix Series on Speed is brought to you by the all-new Rudy Revolution Sports Energy Drink and by Amsoil, first in synthetics, and by Mercury Racing, where the race never stops. Welcome to a lovely fall afternoon here in central New England for the first ever ChampBoat race in the state of Connecticut, the Grand Prix of Hartford. Before we get down to the business of racing, let's give you a postcard view of this area of historic New England, Hartford, Connecticut. A driver who has come on strong and placed himself in a great position to pick up Rookie of the Year honors is Louisiana native Brian Norman. We asked him to talk about himself in his own words.
It all started back in like '89. Dad used to bring me to these races when I was little. Got to come see the boat races, got to come see the wrecks and this and that. Long story short, we said, look, why don't we just buy one of these things one day and do it? Well, I came back to inshore because it was more fun. The offshore gets kind of boring and it's kind of repetitious, and it's like, you know what, let's go where we can beat and bang, haul ass, and just have some fun. But we knew we had some tight competitions, the guys that have been doing it for 25 and 30 years. But the crew that we put together were all big races. We have, I think, 17 national and world championships between just our crew. When we were in Windsor, Colorado racing last year, the storms hit our Louisiana. I mean, we had to put our lives back together before we could put the racing program back together. And all the crew guys, all but the Texas guys, are the same boat we're in. You know, they all lost everything. Everybody's kind of welcomed us out. They've helped us in any kind of way. I mean, whatever we needed, they gave us advice. They patted us on the back when we did good, and they shook the finger at us when we did bad, you know, so it's all a great learning experience. Swipes has come on board and really helped us out. They started out with us last year a little bit just to kind of get the feel of things, and we got the owner into the two-seater rods, and he enjoyed it, and next thing you know, he's backed us 100%. It's really been nice. 2007, we'll have a brand new boat. We bought a brand new ChampBoat, and we're excited about that. The crew's ready to get that thing dialed in, and we're going to keep one or maybe two of these boats here for backup. So we're looking to win the championship for next year. We got the right equipment and the right frame of mind, and the crew's fired up.
The ChampBoat drivers had a full day to duel for starting lineup positions and find out who would be quickest and take pole position for today's Grand Prix of Hartford here on the Connecticut River. Starting fifth this afternoon will be Louisiana native Brian Norman, currently fourth in the championship points race. Next to him in the fourth spot will be Wyatt Nelson out of Syracuse, New York. He's sixth in the championship title. Starting third will be Tim Seabold out of St. Louis, Missouri, driving the Bud Light machine, currently second in the championship.
Boy, the Bud Light team really needed that. You know, I just put my finger on the start button the first heat, and we jumped the gun, pulled the kill switch. Everybody left us, but we came through in the second heat. The Bud Light boat ran great, and we have got an awesome race setup.
Qualifying second, just missing the pole, is Sean Torrente out of Miami, Florida. He's currently seventh in the championship.
Yeah, we had two great heats. Came from the back. Well, we came from the middle of the first heat, won the heat, and then the last heat we came from the back. Had a little red flag incident, backed off, but we salvaged what we could salvage.
And the man who lit the water on fire is Tampa, Florida's Terry Rinker, his fourth pole position of the year.
We got some good competition out there now. Some guys actually finishing in front of me, so I got to watch out for them. We're still working hard back here in the pits. The guys are going through some things just a little off today. I think we're going to pick it up tomorrow.
And here's the remainder of the field of driver lineup for today's Grand Prix of Hartford. Starting in the sixth spot will be Mark Major out of Toronto, Ontario, Canada. Next to him in the seventh spot will be Lynn Sinberger out of Elza, Illinois. In the eighth position will be Dennis Colpadlo from Grayling, Michigan. In the ninth position will be Jeff Shepard out of Woodlawn, Tennessee. In the 10th spot will be Brian Venton from Toronto, Ontario, Canada. In the 11th spot will be Ned Mihalovich out of Coral Springs, Florida in the SPN Racing Team. In the 12th spot will be Randy Rinker from Syracuse, Indiana. And rounding out the field will be Chris Fairchild, driving the Hooters boat from Paw Paw, Illinois. Here's the top 10 qualifiers. Terry Rinker gets his fourth pole position of the year, looking for his fifth straight victory. 8 different manufacturers of boat designs are entered for this weekend's race event, with one of the most intriguing being an Italian boat built in Como, Italy from DAC Racing. We asked the driver of the boat, Wyatt Nelson, to show us the subtleties of the hull and what makes this such a comfortable design for his driving style.
My name's Wyatt Nelson. I'm from Syracuse, New York, and I'd like to introduce you to my race boat. It's an Italian DAC, and it's built in Como, Italy by Guido Capolini. We like to think that this is a Ferrari on the water. The shape of the nose and everything is a little different, the way these swoop back, and the pickle forks are all removable. This compartment right here is where we can adjust weight in the boat for different water conditions. We painted the eagle on there for the spectators, the kids, where the kids are, the parents are, so that was more a feature for the spectators. The office here is pretty neat. It looks very much like an Indy car. It's very tight in there, and we have all the controls to change the attitude of the boat for different courses and different water conditions. The back cowling is all removable to get at all the technical aspects of the boat, such as the fuel systems, the trim, and whatnot. The history of the boat, I've had the boat now for probably 4 years, and we finally are getting it to a point where it's pretty well dialed in. This boat's totally built out of carbon fiber. It's very strong, and when it breaks, you must have hit it pretty hard. We bring at least 2 boats to a race. If anything happens to this, such as an accident or a boat failure, we have another boat in the wings that's almost identical to this, and it's ready to go. I like Italian toys. I have a Ducati at home, and this is definitely the sweetest boat on the water.
The fans have filed themselves along the banking. It's a lovely fall weekend here in Hartford. We'll come back and start things off from the Connecticut River right after this timeout. Welcome back to Hartford, Connecticut, here round number 6 of the 2006 ChampBoat Grand Prix Series. The inaugural race, thousands of fans from throughout central New England watching these crews just seconds before the start. As they get ready to launch the boats into the water, Tim Sebold hopes for his first victory this afternoon. Ned Mihaljevic would like to get a top 5. And this man, Mark Major, would like to reach the podium for the first time. Let's take a look at the championship points as we have them after the first 5 events. Tim Sebold sitting there in second place, needs a win today, but look at the difference between third and fifth. Just a total of 27 points separating those positions. Let's take a look at the qualifying order. Here's the top 10, and Terry Rinker has the pole for the 4th time this year. And Tim Sebold, desperate now, sitting in third place, needs a victory this afternoon. Wyatt Nelson did a great job. Seconds before the start, we hold our breath. Crews holding the boats. These boats will go from 0 to 100 in 4 seconds, and they're away from the dock, and off they come. And Terry Rinker gets a great hole shot, the man off the pole, as he works his way down to the north side of the course. We go on board with Sean Torrente, and as they accelerate away, you can see Torrente losing that second spot. Tim Sebold takes him on the outside, and now Torrente desperately looking for an open lane, slides to the outside, and he has lost a position here. As we come by the start-finish line, we begin counting this 50-lap race at this point, and Terry Rinker right where he wants to be, out in first place. Tim Sebold has slid up into second place. Sean Torrente dropping back into third as we watch our leader on the back straightaway accelerate down in toward the north side of this course. Turns number 3 and 4 around this 1.25-mile race course. Terry Rinker has that beautiful David Lee boat on rails as he slides out of the corner. Tim Sebold trying to desperately stay up with him. And we can see Wyatt Nelson back there in 4th place. We look farther back in the pack, and we can see Lynn Simberger trying to stay right up there in the front. As Chris Fairchild now making a move. He started in the last spot, and he is up into the top 10 already here on the opening lap. Terry Rinker now on the back straightaway, trying to stretch the real estate out a little bit between he and Tim Sebold as he continues to pound this boat, reaching speeds of 135 miles an hour down the back straightaway, sliding out of the corner. That beautiful David Lee boat built out of Alabama, out in front of Tim Sebold in a boat he has built himself out of the workshops in St. Louis, Missouri. Third, you can see Sean Torrente now as he is up for Rookie of the Year awards, driving that Grand Prix boat. Interesting setup here for the California Gold Team, sponsored by Gary L. Barton out of Long Beach, California. As we go on board with Sean Torrente, you can see to the right now, Tim Sebold, that's the man he's trying to take and move ahead in second place, and it looks like Sean Torrente's getting the job done. Oh my, side by side, and now slides into second place coming out of turn number 4. Tim Sebold looks like he's slowing down. There could be a problem with the engine on that boat, as a driver from St. Louis, Missouri needs victory today to have any chance to come up with a championship here in 2006, and he is going backwards. He's got to be desperate at this point. As Sean Torrente goes in now in second place and is now starting to be hounded by Wyatt Nelson, who now has slid up into that third place position. So Tim Sebold continues to slide backwards, and he is slowing down on the race course. What a shame for Tim Sebold and that Bud Light team out of St. Louis, Missouri. As we see our leader coming by, here's the battle going on for second place. Sean Torrente out of Miami, Florida, with Wyatt Nelson coming up. And Wyatt Nelson starting down in the top 5, but he has moved himself up into that third place position. Sean Torrente, who has won numerous championships, won the Formula 2 championship a couple of times. As we mentioned, out of Florida, his team out of California as we look at Wyatt Nelson, who has 4 of these lovely Italian DAC boats in his garage. He has short boats, long boats, depending on this race course. It's not a rough day here on the Connecticut River, so he probably elected to run his short boat. It looks like he has as we watch him on the water. Here's our leader, Terry Rinker, as he slides out of turn number 1 and 2, accelerating away, starting to build up a bit of a cushion now. Torrente won't let him go. He's about 10 boat lengths back. He's about 2 seconds ahead of Sean Torrente. And now Terry Rinker is going to have to start working his way around some back markers here. And let's see if Torrente can take advantage of our leader as he starts to slice his way around some of the slower boats. Terry Rinker, your leader, as he comes down the front straightaway, as he works his way up and alongside Ned Mihalovic. 2 of these David Lee designed boats side by side. Ned Mihalovic having a good run this afternoon, up in the top 10. So he continues to get better and better in that SPN sports machine. Rinker on the back straight. Continues to roll along. 20 laps gone here on the Connecticut River. Back with more from the Grand Prix of Hartford right after this timeout. Welcome back to Hartford, Connecticut here on the Connecticut River. This is round number 6 of the 2006 ChampBoat Grand Prix Series. Steve Michael with you, and there's your leader, Terry Rinker. He has won 5 straight races in a row. He's trying to tie the all-time world record of 6 straight events. And out in front he is by about 10 boat lengths. And this man, Sean Torrente, about 2 seconds back as he tries to close up and really challenge for the lead. So back in third, there's Wyatt Nelson, the driver from Syracuse, New York, making some progress. Here's the battle going on for 4th place. Mark Major out of Newmarket, Ontario, Canada, holding on to about a 2-second margin on Brian Norman, the driver out of Louisiana, who's trying to close up. And of course, for Brian Norman, as we talked about so many times this year, he is an offshore powerboat racing champion who has switched to inshore racing, been very successful in his first full year of ChampBoat powerboat racing. Mark Major going down in toward turn number 3 and 4, reaching speeds of close to 130, 35 miles an hour on this course today. Great fan support on both sides of the river. And Brian Norman, oh my, slides to the outside, really pushed hard to take 4th place away, and now gets his nose out in front and works his way around Mark Major. So Brian Norman moves into 4th spot as he put on a powerful move as he gets that Hoffman hull around the corner. This boat designed out of California. And Brian Norman now, it looks like he's going to take up the hunt and try to close up on Wyatt Nelson, who sits in that 3rd place. So Brian Norman getting stronger as this race goes on. He's about a 1/3 of a lap behind Wyatt Nelson, so he's got some real estate to make up out on the water. And oh my, Brian Norman's got a problem with the race boat. Oh, he slid the boat up. He reared it up high off in the left spots, and it looks like he stalled it. And Brian Norman, after doing all that wonderful work to move up into the top 4, looks like his day has come to an end. He's got to be in tears now, knowing that that great race that he ran earlier has come to a stop. And taking advantage of the situation now is Chris Fairchild. There you see he started dead last in this race, and now he has moved himself up into the 4th spot. And he has worked his way around Mark Major. Chris Fairchild is on the fly as we can see our leader coming through. And here's Sean Torrente getting closer and closer. He's making a real run of it as we go on board. You can see the limited visibility that the driver faces inside the cockpit. Sean looking for a good lane. And right now he's split down the middle. He's getting clear water, and that's exactly what you want to do as he takes it around the corner. Oh my, he's lost his steering. Oh no, Sean Torrente looks like his day is coming to an end. He's desperately trying to hang on to control of the boat as it comes to a stop. Sean Torrente has to be scratching his head. That's the 3rd straight DNF for the driver out of Miami. He's failed to finish in the last 3 races, and his chances for Rookie of the Year are slipping away as his $12,000 power steering unit fails him. Back to our leader, Terry Rinker, and now we can see right behind him is Wyatt Nelson. Wyatt Nelson out of Syracuse, New York, is challenging for the lead. He has slid himself up into 2nd place. He has closed the gap on the driver from Florida and now has his presence very well known as he is only about 5 boat lengths back as we go into the final few laps. This could be a battle for the win here in Hartford between 2 experienced drivers. And Terry Rinker right now desperately trying to hang on to 1st place, while Wyatt Nelson, who's been racing since the age of 9 and who owns 9 different national championship titles, would just love to come up with his first ever ChampBoat victory this afternoon. Terry Rinker on the final lap now, can feel the presence of Wyatt Nelson right behind. Wyatt's got to figure out how to move up very quickly because he's still about 6 boat lengths back. And Terry Rinker, all he has to do is keep the power alive here on the back straightaway as he puts the foot to the floor for the final time in a back stretch. Only has 2 more pins to navigate around. And Terry Rinker comes out of turn number 4 for the final time, looks up, can see the checkered flag, and will come across and take the win. His 6th in a row to tie a world record. What a great season so far for this man from Tampa, Florida. We'll be back to hear from the top 3 of this race when we return right after this timeout. The ChampBoat Grand Prix Series on Speed is brought to you by the all-new Rudy Revolution Sports Energy Drink, and by Amsoil, first in synthetics, and by Mercury Racing, where the race never stops. Back here in Hartford, Connecticut, while Terry Rinker's crew celebrates, let's hear from the man in 3rd, Chris Fairchild.
Yeah, it was a heck of a day. We had to work all day long during this main. Things didn't go our way on Saturday. We broke some good equipment. We put on some stuff that we just didn't know would go 50 laps. It's got a bunch of time on it, but luckily my Mercury outboard held together like they always do.
As Terry continues his victory lap with James Chambers on board, let's go to the man who finished in 2nd place, Wyatt Nelson.
Yeah, it was a good race for us. We wanted to do good in front of the hometown fans and all the relatives that showed up. The Hartford has a lot of educated boat race fans, and we want to do good for them.
Here's the top 10 and how they finished. A great day for Wyatt Nelson and Mark Major. Let's go down and hear from the man who won this race, Terry Rinker.
It's hard to believe, Steve. I mean, we came into this year hoping to, be able to defend the championship. To win 6 in a row, it's just hard to believe. Somebody, pinch me, wake me up. I can't believe it.
Here's the official results of the race, and Densko Padlo finishes down in 7th, his 3rd top 10 finish of the season. Tim Seabold finishing last. Well, as you can see, the winner going upstairs, taking the top step on the podium. Terry Rinker comes home with a win, his 6th straight in 2006. And here are the points. As you can see, Tim Seabold dropping farther and farther back. His chances of a championship here pretty well gone in this 2006 season. Our Rudy's Hard Charger of the Day award has to go to one man, Chris Fairchild, who started dead last and finished 3rd on the podium. So as the champagne begins to spray at the podium and the thousands who enjoyed this race today, it was a lovely day here on the Connecticut River, and we're heading off to Savannah, Georgia to wrap up 2006. For my partner Bill Siebold, I'm Steve Michael saying so long from Hartford.